guys, the ultimate guide for young entrepreneurs, young construction business owners. I wish I had this information when I was younger. It's the information that I needed, and I've got some key points for you guys to really get your head around to help you basically kill it in the industry. And the most important thing before I kick off is that you can. This industry is huge. There is loads of money in the industry. There is loads of profit to be made in the industry, but it only comes to those that know what they're doing and got their head switched on, and you become businessmen and business owners. Might be a businesswoman as well, but look, you become a business person, and that's what it's all about. So number one, you have to get knowledge and skills. You have to become so well informed around business. It's likely that a lot of you listening to this, you started on the tools like I did. You started working physically hard on sites. You learned from someone. You gained knowledge and skills in doing your craft. And you can all relate to that, you can all understand that. And the thing is, running a business and growing a business that's one, successful and two, profitable, you're going to need knowledge and skills on business. It makes perfect sense, right? If you're building a wall, you're laying bricks, you need to know how to lay bricks. It's very easy to watch a video doing it, but the minute you get a brick and a trowel in your hand and some muck, it's very different. The bricks can be all over the place. It can be an absolute nightmare. Business is the same. So I would actually spend a lot of your time, and actually most of your time, energy and money, learning and getting an education. You need an education. If you don't get an education, and again, a lot of the industry is not very well educated. A lot of us didn't pay attention at school. We weren't interested in school because it was the wrong stuff being taught to us. And my view with the channel is that helping you guys give you the education that you need for the business side, to make money, to grow the business and to scale things up and lead the team to actually deliver all that work. But your education has got to be your focus point. You've got to get very well informed on things like tax, on things like pricing, on things like management. This should be your main focus. If you've got any elements of doubt around these types of things, you need to learn. There is loads of videos on this channel, and there is loads of podcast episodes I've got in a link below as well, on all different topics of the business to help you guys out. Then number two, become a specialist. Which always comes down to making the decision. What are you going to be known for? What are you going to have the best reputation for? This industry is all about reputation. What do you want people to say about you? What do you want to be the specialist in? And stick to that and own that. And it can be anything. It can be joinery. It can be commercial electrics. It can be new build houses. It can be extensions. It could be tiling, a certain way of tiling, like large format or small format. You know, whatever it is, you are always going to be better off being a specialist. A specialist gets paid the highest amount of money. Reputation is built on being a specialist and doing it over and over again for time. And this is the way to look at it. If you're trying to sprint, you're going to fall over, you're going to get injured. As corny, as cliche as it sounds, it is a marathon. But it's not a marathon in the sense of 10, 20 years. In 5 years, if you pick one lane and you're very good at business, you're very good at sales, you're very good at numbers, and you stick to being a specialist in what you do, in 5 years you could be in a very special place. And the amateur makes the mistake of looking at where they've come in 5 months, and it might not look a lot, but in 5 years, if you become a specialist, you will build a very good reputation in that time frame, and you can sort of own your market. And it's very important to do that, because if you're a generalist, you're going to end up being a generalist at the end and getting generalist money and getting whatever job comes your way and whatever life throws at you, basically. Whereas if you become a specialist, you're going to get a reputation for that. The high-end clients are going to seek out the specialist and the reputation that's got the best in the marketplace. Then number three, you've got to have a plan. You've got to have a solid plan. You cannot get to a great destination without a plan. If you are trying to drive all the way up to Scotland from London, there is a route you've got to take. You get a sat nav, you have a plan, you know what direction you're going in. And if you're trying to get to Scotland and you went via France, it's going to take you a long time to get there. It's going to be very painful, going to cost you more time, more energy, more money. You have to have a plan that allows you to get you to where you want to be. And that's going to be in the form and the basis of a financial plan, and an action plan. Anyone can put a spreadsheet together. Everyone can put some numbers on a spreadsheet and go, that looks nice. But what's the actionable steps for you getting there? What KPIs do you need to hit? KPIs are key performance indicators. So things like quoting, profit margin, tracking the jobs, how many jobs you win. So if you do 10 quotes, how many do you win out of that? You have to have a solid financial and action plan that allows you to get there. If you haven't got a plan, if you're just going with it, you're just winging it, you're going to be in trouble at some point. Now, the thing with that is when you start a business, you have to just start. You have to just go and win a project and get on with it. That's great. That skill set gets you so far. But if you want to go to the top and you want to win big, you need to then adapt the skill set of actually, right, step back now. We're started, we've got movement, we've got cash coming in, we've got lads on site. Now we need a plan so that we can execute on basic, simple stuff over and over again that helps you build your reputation and helps you win projects in the right place because it's in line with the financial plan and the action plan, and you're building the right relationships. Because it's always going to come down to relationships with your clients from whatever marketing you do in line with a plan, and relationships with your labour on site and subcontractors you can use, the people that want to work for you. And it's a twofold argument of you need clients, but you need labour. It's that juggling act all the time. And if you've got a solid plan in place with action steps, you're going to get there. It's going to be a lot easier. Number 4 is all about risk. You're going to need to be aware all of the time of managing your risk. You're always taking a risk on in this industry. Or at the end of the day, you're building projects on someone's home or workplace. There is a risk attached to that from a financial point of view. You're committing to cost, you're committing to delivering, you're ordering materials, you're instructing labour. You've got to manage that risk all the time and make sure the client is credible, it's going to pay you, it's going to be okay, but you've also got the implication of health and safety. You're sending people to work, they've got to be protected, they've got to be covered, because that cost is huge, emotionally and financially. If someone messes up on site and makes a mistake, slips, breaks their ankle, or worst case dies, which does happen, that is going to be a massive implication of the plan from a financial point of view, and really it's going to be horrible as a person. So managing risk, make sure you are insured. Speak to a proper insurance broker, an insurance company, to make sure you've got the right levels of cover for you from liability point of view, and all the other insurances you need. Speak to a specialist broker, they're going to inform you and tell you what insurances you do need to cover you and protect you. Because when you're a director of a company in the UK, what you don't realise is you are liable for everything to do with that business. So if you get into trouble, if you get into financial trouble, or you get a health and safety problem, it's coming to you as a director. You are in the firing line. Everyone sees the nice bits of business, of making money and building profits, but you're also always at risk. The minute you're the named person on a company, you are exposed. You need to make sure you're protecting everything, you've got the right insurances, and you're not making silly mistakes from a health and safety point of view. Number 5, build a network. You need a network. The bigger your network, the easier life is going to be on all levels. Your network of clients, so the marketing that you do, but your network of professionals, architects, structural engineers, building surveyors, accountants, lawyers, all the different people of different elements of business you're going to need. You can never ever have too bigger of a network. Networking should actually be your first and foremost focus. Growing a big business over time, thinking, way ahead and thinking bigger picture. You need killers in your corner. If you're going to go to war, if you look at business as a war, you want the best, strongest people, skilled people around you that are shit hot at what they do in all the different elements of business. Professionals are going to make your life so much easier if you've got a decent, genuine relationship with them. You need to have a relationship and become that minded as a person that you've got a relationship. You could phone them and they will pick up your call. They will get back to you because they like you. You've got a relationship. And also network for labour. The person that wins is going to be the most connected. Can make a few phone calls and get people there tomorrow. Get people there next week. It's got options. You're not reliant on just who you know locally where you live. You've got loads of different options. Your network is the biggest thing, and look, that's why social media is so good for that. You can build a network at scale, and we've done this multiple times. We put up ads for labour on site. We can get people quick because I've got a network. I've built up an audience myself, and a lot of clients struggle with getting labour. It's difficult, but the more people that know you, the more people you've got as options and choices. And I've always been a big fan of building a professional network, which actually leads into clients as well, because every single person needs work or jobs doing, and it comes full circle. And I've done this by things like, look, joining the gym, joining the golf club, going to nice places, going to the right places where the right clientele are and the right professionals are, and going to places where you're going to build relationships with the right people for what you need as a business. But networking should always be your thing. And networking is not spending your time with the wrong people. Networking is putting yourself out there to speak to new people all the time. Sitting in your little clique that you've got and you've grown up with is not the network you need to build. It's great you've got that, but you need to expand that network all the time. Number 6 is invest in marketing and brand. Notice how I said invest. When it comes to marketing and spending money on marketing, you don't get an instant result. It's an investment. It's being known and being seen by more people. Again, social media is a great tool for doing that because it allows you to do it at speed and at leverage. Everyone's on their phone, everyone's on the internet. If you can get your slice of the pie and become better known, that is going to be an unlock for the business. Leveraging platforms like LinkedIn, a professional platform, allows you to market to all of these people that we've talked about just in such an easier, quicker way. And marketing is going to be the most important function of a business when it comes to growing and scaling it. The more people that know you, the more people that can buy from you. And that then turns into a brand. And I don't think a lot of people understand what a brand is. Now, you will have favourite brands that you like. Let's say it's Lamborghini or Rolex. You just know what you feel when you mention that name and that brand name. And this is what you want to try and replicate for your business, that when you say your name, people go, oh, that's the best, they're fantastic, it's amazing. Or are they actually saying, well, I wouldn't go with them, wouldn't choose them, they're a bit sloppy, a bit rough around the edges. And you can be anywhere on that scale. And every time you market, and actually when you do jobs physically on site as well, and how you operate as a business owner, that is part of your marketing. Your reviews, your testimonials, your feedback, your staff on site, that is actually all part of your marketing efforts. If they're all saying good things, then you are building a brand. And a brand is what you want to build because people like buying from good brands. So your brand needs to reflect who you are as a business. If you're a high-end company and your brand doesn't look that way, again, look at Rolex, look at Lamborghini. What does their brand look like? What does the font look like? What does the colours look like? It's more luxury, it's not cheap looking. It's not like Lidl type branding or Audi type branding. It's very, very different. There's different levels of the market. EasyJet, Emirates, you've got complete opposing different brands, but they both do the same thing. You both get a flight. Everything's the same. Restaurants are the same. You can go to Burger King or you can go to somewhere like Sheesh in London. It's completely different branding, it's completely different perception, and people pay completely different prices. And this is what you want to build, because ultimately you want a company where people are willing to pay you more money than someone else because you've got the brand, you've got the reputation, and you deliver. And that's the most important thing. All right, number 7, start small. Start small and build up. You're probably going to get in trouble if you try and go after massive contracts straight out of the gate. You need to start small, get some jobs under your belt, some 10 granders, some 20 granders, some 30 granders, 100 granders, relatively small in the market. If you're trying to go after massive contracts, and a lot of people get stuck with this, is they see the big shiny object, like the big 500 grand job, the £1 million job, the £4 million job, whatever it is, depending on what level you're at and what you do. Bigger's not always better, and likely you're not going to be able to bankroll that job because they're going to take a lot of cash to consume to deliver that job, getting a bit too ahead of your boots. And if you're not on it, if you haven't mastered the basics in the form and the sense of pricing, profitability, job management, program management, getting things done on time, on budget, and the customer's happy, if you don't nail those basics on a small job, you are going to be in a world of shit trying to go after bigger jobs, because bigger jobs it's the same, but on a bigger scale with bigger risk. And that's my point 4, managing your risk. So start small, get some jobs under your belt and tick them off and go, right, we priced that correctly, we made money, it delivered great on site, the customer's happy. Rinse and repeat. rinse and repeat, and then let those jobs scale up in size as you grow. So you've got the confidence, you've got the feedback, you've got the results, you've got the proof, because then you're going to become the specialist and you've got reputation because you're doing good job after good job after good job. If you go too big too soon and you mess that job up, your reputation then suffers, your marketing suffers, and you end up going backwards. And look, sometimes you've got to take a bit of a leap, but taking a logical leap. Going from a 20 grand job to £1 million job is a massive leap. But going from a 20 grand job to a 100 grand job is, okay, we can do that. And think logically about it, and think for wherever you are as a company now, start small and build up and just nail the process and get it perfect and get it right, and then go after the bigger stuff as you grow. Number 8, hire and build a skilled team. Everything is going to come down to your team. When it's just you, when you start small, very small, it's only you to manage. And that's a very easy thing to do, to be honest. You've got to be there on time, you've got to be organised, you've got to do the job. But managing a team and building a skilled team is a whole different world. Number one, people are going to want to work for you. They've got to want to work for you. And managing that team and getting the best out of that team is where a lot of people stay stuck. They get locked into this bit. They just can't find people. They've got the mindset that good people out there don't exist. No one's as good as you. No one's as better as you. But it's because you don't know how to manage people and you don't know what you're looking for. If you can get into the place of building your team up, and a lot of times on site, it's going to be lads that go with you and workforce that come with you. They start doing one job and they might be a bit junior on something like, let's say 150 a day, and they progress, they get older, they get more skilled, and they progress into 200, 250 a day, maybe 300 a day, whatever it is that you do, and they might start taking on a bit more of a management role, taking on a bit more responsibility, and they develop and you grow that person. And people are very loyal in this industry. As long as the lads are looked after and they like the work they do, they like you, they're probably going to stay with you for a very long time, maybe the whole time, the whole business cycle that you've got. And you're used to doing that on site because it's easy, it's practical. But building your team in the office is a whole different skill set. And likely you're going to be employing people smarter than you, better than you at different elements of the business. And that's okay, that doesn't matter. But what you need to be very good at is being a good leader, which is basically being on time, having good standards, being a man of your word, and holding people accountable. I've done separate videos, I've done a separate podcast on that, you'll find that a link below. It's a whole massive topic. But if you can be more geared to invest in your team, invest in the future, train them, help them, show them, regularly review things, and basically have the mindset that you as the owner of a business, your job is to get the best out of your staff. It's not to get the best out of your clients, it's your job to get the best out of your staff, because they will look after your clients. They will do the job right if you spend the time to work with those people and you develop the team. Number 9, you've got to embrace technology. Embrace things that are going to make your life so much easier. This industry is a dinosaur. Believe it or not, there are massive companies out there, and I know this because I've been privy to this as well, is that operating from like no systems, no set structure, no softwares, running things manually, paperwork, printing stuff off, running spreadsheets for massive companies that, you know, there's a lot smarter things to do. If you embrace technology now and get ahead by using things like apps, by using software that tracks things, job management tools, and just going with it and using technology to your advantage. And that does link back to marketing as well, by using the technology of the internet, social media, marketing, brand, you know, you can become very well known very easily and quickly, compared to the old days when people had to spend a lot of money on TV or radio or paper. You can get your message out there very easy, and there's a lot of technology and software to make your life so much easier. Email automations to clients, tracking quotations, getting quotations digitally signed. There is a whole host of softwares and systems you can use for that. And again, I've got other videos and podcasts on this topic. But embrace the technology and use it, and be ahead, because people like it. And we live in a world now where people love communication. And they love knowing. You know, things like Uber. Uber changed the game for taxis because people could log onto an app and not only book a taxi there and then, but see where the taxi is. Uber removed that fear of, well, I phoned for a taxi, I don't know where it's going to turn up. They said it'd be 20 minutes, but it might not be. And it's the unknown People like to know what is going on. Everyone books everything online now. Everyone tracks everything online. Every order they make, every delivery they've got coming, they know when it's coming. Everyone's got a Ringo doorbell so they can see when someone turned up and who's turned up. Everyone's got cameras on their dashboard of their car because they're tracking stuff, and technology has moved. And technology has not moved with construction. So embrace the technology, spend the money on softwares and subscriptions because it will save you a lot of money, a lot of time, and it will allow you to really run a better company, because most companies have not done this, have not gone with the times. Number 10 is look after the money. First and foremost, you are in business to make money. Never take your eye off the ball with your money and your finances. The trap a lot of people fall into is they get busy with revenue coming in and jobs and winning those jobs, but you can start slipping on tracking and managing that money. And just because you're making money doesn't mean that things are okay, because you might be wasting a lot of money somewhere else or something's not quite right. You've got to become a money man. And this is where the role of a QS in a business, a quantity surveyor, someone tracking projects, you might need to become this person, or maybe you need to hire someone to be this person in the business for the projects. But you as the business owner, you've got to be the QS of the company. And this is why big companies have things like finance directors. It's why they have finance managers or chief financial officers, depending on the size that you get to. You've got to really be the FD of your company, in control of all the money, because when lads come to you or when staff come to you and go, right, we need to buy this, we need to do this, you need to look at it and go, okay, do we really need that? Can we do it a cheaper way? Are the jobs making money? Is the company in a good position? Are you racking up profits? Are you investing those profits? It becomes a whole different game the bigger you get as well, but most of your time becomes focused purely on the money, because everything costs money. Every single thing in a business costs money at some point. If you want to market, it costs money. If you want to network, it costs money. If you want to manage risk, it costs money. If you want to get systems, it costs money. So everything is going to be based on this. And the biggest point here is that don't be a tight ass. Invest to get back time and speed. Poor people will spend a lot of time trying to save a couple of pound notes, trying to save money. Whereas rich, successful people will invest money to buy back time, to save energy, and to make your staff's life easier so you can progress as a business. Money is the most important thing in this industry, and it's where every single person goes wrong at some point. Everyone takes their eye off the ball, and most of the time that's the thing that kills you, because if you run out of cash, you're screwed. And lastly, number 11 is build a long-term vision. Not being cheesy when I say that, build a long-term. Where do you actually really want to be? Think bigger picture, like where do you actually want to be when you're 40, 50, 60, when you're retired? Do you want to exit the business? What sort of lifestyle do you want with your kids, with your family? People take their eye off the ball with this, and this industry is riddled with people that have worked very hard their whole life and never got their head around all of this stuff that I'm talking through with you guys today, because they never really had a vision of where they want to be. And then before you know it, it's too late, you're old, your body's destroyed, you're resentful when you regret what you've done, and other people have overtaken you because you didn't have a solid plan, you didn't have a vision of where you want to be. So get very clear on that, and I would actually do that from this video, is take in the notes and the things that I've gone through, but actually think very clearly, where do you want to be in 5 years' time? Like you as a person, where do you want the business to be? What lifestyle do you want? What car do you want? What nice things do you want? Look, we all want nice things. It starts with nice things, and then it turns into what can you do for your kids? What can you do for your family? What investments do you want? What do you want to own? What does your day look like? How do you operate as a person? It will start stemming from there. All us men, we have to get the shiny stuff out of the way first, and then it turns into bigger, more important stuff. And actually where you want to be as a person, so that you can look back and go, do you know what, I love this business, I love my life. Yes, it's riddled with stresses and problems, but that's business. Every business has got that. A lot of people like to harp on that the construction industry is very hard. It is, but so is any business. That's what comes with it. But the rewards are there if you have a vision and you actually execute and get all of these things that I've talked about right. Take the time to do them and have a longer vision of 5 years. Think bigger, and ultimately get you to where you want to be as a person, because when it's all said and done, you've got to enjoy yourself, you've got to enjoy your life. So I hope that's useful, guys. 11 key points there. Like I say, if you need more help, more topics to cover, there is links below for a podcast and other videos, but there is also a link for 30 days of free business mentorship. It's an email a day with practical help. Check it out, put in your details, and I'll see you on there. Bosh.